Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your business.
Yes, so I'm what you call a private jeweler and designer. So private jeweler always gets this rep like, ooh, gotta spend big bucks. But really all it means is that it's by appointment only. So I started my business as a side hustle, if you want to call it that, in 2020. And then it just grew quicker than I imagined, which is great. And now I am full-time private jeweler and designer.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell me about the types of pieces that you create or get to create for your clients.
Sure. Anything from new jewelry like an engagement ring, wedding bands, earrings, bracelets, necklaces, all the way to a redesign and repairs. So redesigns are definitely one of my favorites because you get to have the stories behind the jewelry, which I always just love. And so that allows me to hone into more of the story and then also what they like to wear in their style and then create something new for them.
That's amazing. So tell me a little bit, before you started your own business, where does your jewelry expertise come from?
Well, since 6th grade, it's a very vivid memory. Okay, here we go. 6th grade, I told my parents I wanted Elle magazine for a Christmas gift. And so I got that and I was flipping through and I was like, ooh, really into fashion and whatnot. And I saw all this beautiful jewelry that wasn't just a wedding ring. I just kind of opened my mind to all the extra fun jewelry that you can wear in addition to your special wedding set. But then from there, I went to school for art and business, and so kind of branched out into more artistic side of the world, I guess, and then worked for a family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, which they're wonderful, and learned so much from there. And then quick, short stint, 11-year stint, Gap, a different industry, and then I was circled back to the jewelry. So
that's amazing.
Yes.
Well, and to now get to do it kind of at your own pace within your own business, helping the clients that you love. Kind of brings you back to your roots.
Yes, and I love it. I'm so happy I took the leap and just did it.
So tell me a little bit about the private jewelry. You talk about the misconceptions of you have to spend the big bucks.
Right.
What are some misconceptions that people have about working with a private jeweler?
I'm maybe not necessarily a private jeweler, but maybe because I'm a smaller business, I don't have the traditional storefront that you would envision when you walk in. There's cases of jewelry. Because I do so much custom at this point in time in my business, I don't have a whole room full of jewelry. I have select pieces that I keep in stock just so I can kind of show you some samples. But really this allows you to kind of talk to me more about what you're looking for. And then I can get samples in and we can always modify and tweak from there and get it made for you. So that's one misconception. A second one would probably be that, you're like, oh, private jeweler, how much do I have to spend? Sure, we can sell you something very high end, don't get me wrong, but I also have things that are under $500, so that are fine quality. That's the other thing too. People are like, oh, but how long have you been doing this? I'm like, okay, I have 10 years in the industry. I have all my connections, but it's a misconception. Walking in, you're like, is it really what you say it is, or the quality level? Quality level is the same as all the other big fancy stores, I promise you.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, and you talked too about the just kind of the standard of it, as much as some people know about jewelry, they also don't. So to have your expertise is so valuable. In the convenience of your communication too with all of it.
Yeah, education is definitely one of my top priorities because if you don't know what you don't know, especially if this is the realm that is something that you purchase very often, you're probably not going to go look up stuff and research it because it isn't something maybe it's a gentleman coming in to buy a ring for the first time. They probably haven't bought a ton of jewelry prior to that, maybe so, but usually not. And there's so much advertising out there that can bombard you. And you're like, so what's true, what's not? To help them sift through those answers and answer any questions.
Well, and to have technology as advanced as it is, you talk about not having a showroom of pieces, but then you can also help clients virtually anywhere.
Sure, yeah.
I know my experience working with you was so great, and being able to see the renderings back and forth of as much as you get to see it in person, sometimes what you see on your phone is just as simple and makes your thoughts kind of come to light in a vision of like, okay, that is what it is, or whoa, where are we at here?
Yeah, it's really fun. Technology has actually really been a great asset to, I think, many businesses, but this definitely allows me as a small business owner to really branch out. It doesn't have to be just locally. I've helped people on the East Coast, obviously you in South Dakota, and some other people more in the Southwest as well. So it's fun to be able to help clients outside of the Omaha area too.
That's incredible. Yeah. Well, and you talk about jewelry too, of maybe you come in at that stage for wedding and needing a piece, or maybe a statement piece that was handed down from you. I would say, what's your favorite client to work with that you get to help?
Oh, favorite. I mean, I love everyone so much, but I do love a good redesign. There was a customer that I helped recently. Her mom came in and she said, hey, we have these strand of pearls and they've been worn for 4 generations. And I was like, oh my gosh, like tell me more. And she's like, it's just not quite my daughter's style. The string had broke anyways, which happens with pearls over that many generations. And so we were able to create something that she wore on her wedding day. So took a few pearls out, made some drop earrings, and then a very simple necklace. And they have all the extra pearls, so she wanted to do something later on, but it was her style. She wore it on her wedding day. Her mom surprised her with it. So it was so fun, but very wearable. Like she could wear the necklace or the earrings to work. Like they're not so avant-garde that they're never wearable again, which I also find important.
Well, and it's so fascinating. You talk about the redesign. Is that pretty well known within the jewelry industry, or is it a service that you feel like is maybe untapped, that you're like, wait, bring the pieces in, I'd love to make it wearable to you?
I think many jewelers will help customers do that, but obviously like big box stores, they just aren't really allowed to do that service just based off their business plan structure, I guess you could say. I think a lot of people don't realize you can do it. I think the word is getting out, which is fun. I've gotten a ton of referrals just from people on Facebook, like, oh, Heidi, help me redesign. They're like, oh my gosh. So I think it's spreading that you can take old and make new, and not have to spend and buy new all the time. You can recreate.
Such a cool service and concept to keep those statement pieces, but still add new value to it.
Yeah, thanks.
So tell me, anything else about your business that maybe you get to experience with you, but you wouldn't experience with another private jeweler, big box store?
Sure. I hand select every diamond. I know that isn't a new thing, but I really, when a customer comes in, we're doing that consultation, I am really listening to things that are important to them. And then when I go out and search for the diamonds, I either know what to communicate to my diamond vendors, or everything's on video. Like I can look at all the diamonds online. So that helps. And I think it's special to the customer, that they're getting exactly what they're looking for versus just walking into a store and being, oh, here's your carat 50 oval. Like, this is the one. You're like, but what if it's not that one? Because cut plays a big factor in how something looks. I think I am genuinely very invested in you and your story. I think that's so fun to be able to create those memories for you, but then also your generation to come after you. I know I have memories of my mom wearing jewelry. So like, I think that's just so powerful to be able to have that attachment to a piece of jewelry.
I love it. Well, and something that means so much can often have that financial value, but it's the sentiment behind it, which is often more the memory and the value hold of all of it.
Absolutely.
That's incredible. So maybe somebody's interested in consulting with you about a piece or looking for something specifically in a redesign. How can they reach out to you?
Sure, a couple different ways. One, you can go to my website, Heidi Marie Private Jewlery.com. And there's a informational contact form. You can tell me if there's a due date, what you're looking for, and then I will reach out and schedule something with you. You can also go to my Instagram page, which my handle is Heidi Marie Private Jeweler, and then you can message me that way, or you can straight up email or call me.
That's awesome.
And
then, do you happen to have any new offers for first-time clients or specials going on that you want to share?
Sure. So I will, for the end of December, through the end of December, offer $250 off a new piece of jewelry or gemstone or diamond that's loose. One exclusion is repair work. I can't discount the repair work, but the other things I'd be happy to and walk anybody through even a redesign or whatever that may be. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect time for the holidays.
Yeah,
and
get in.
gifting
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing about your business. Is there anything else you want to share with us today before we?
Oh man, I mean, there's always so much, but no, this was a great opportunity. I appreciate your time. But yeah, if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us.